Have you ever stopped to think about the fact that nearly 30% of the general population is walking around in a state of chronic sleep deprivation, with some studies suggesting that this number could be as high as 50% in certain demographics? This is a staggering statistic, especially when you consider the profound impact that sleep deprivation can have on our mental performance. In fact, a study conducted by researchers at the University of California, Berkeley, found that sleep deprivation can actually reduce our IQ by as much as 15 points, which is equivalent to the cognitive decline that we would expect to see in someone who has aged 10 years. This is a disturbing thought, especially when you consider that many of us are knowingly or unknowingly sacrificing our sleep for the sake of work, social media, or other obligations. The implications of this are profound, and they should give us all pause. For example, a study published in the journal Sleep found that sleep-deprived individuals performed significantly worse on cognitive tasks that required attention, memory, and decision-making skills. This study, which was conducted by researchers at the University of Surrey, also found that sleep deprivation can lead to a significant increase in cognitive errors, which can have serious consequences in certain professions, such as medicine, aviation, and transportation. In fact, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that driver fatigue is responsible for tens of thousands of crashes every year, resulting in thousands of deaths and injuries. And yet, despite these risks, many of us continue to push ourselves to get by on less and less sleep, often with disastrous consequences. As Dr. Matthew Walker, a renowned sleep researcher at the University of California, Berkeley, has noted, sleep is not an optional lifestyle luxury. It's a fundamental biological necessity. And yet, we often treat it as if it's something that we can skimp on, without any significant consequences. Now, let's take a closer look at what happens when we don't get enough sleep. When we're sleep-deprived, our brains are not able to function at their best. This is because sleep plays a critical role in the consolidation of memories, with research suggesting that sleep helps to strengthen the connections between neurons in the brain, making it easier to retrieve and use information. Without sufficient sleep, these connections can become weakened, leading to problems with memory and learning. For example, a study conducted by researchers at the University of Michigan found that sleep-deprived individuals had difficulty learning new information and were more likely to forget previously learned information. This is because sleep deprivation can lead to a significant decrease in the production of neurotransmitters, such as norepinephrine, serotonin, and acetylcholine, which are essential for learning and memory. In addition to its impact on memory and learning, sleep deprivation can also have a significant impact on our mood and emotional regulation. When we're sleep-deprived, we're more likely to feel irritable, anxious, and depressed, which can have serious consequences for our relationships and overall well-being. In fact, research has shown that sleep deprivation can lead to a significant increase in the production of stress hormones, such as cortisol and adrenaline, which can have a negative impact on our mood and emotional regulation. For example, a study conducted by researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found that sleep-deprived individuals were more likely to experience feelings of anxiety and depression, and were also more likely to engage in impulsive behaviors, such as substance abuse. This is because sleep deprivation can lead to a significant decrease in the activity of the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for regulating our emotions and impulses. As we continue to explore the impact of sleep deprivation on our mental performance, it's becoming increasingly clear that getting enough sleep is essential for maintaining our cognitive abilities. In fact, research has shown that sleep is just as important as diet and exercise when it comes to maintaining our overall health and well-being. For example, a study conducted by researchers at the University of Chicago found that sleep-deprived individuals were more likely to experience weight gain, and were also more likely to develop chronic diseases, such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease. This is because sleep deprivation can lead to a significant decrease in the production of hormones, such as insulin and leptin, which are essential for regulating our appetite and metabolism. As Dr. E. Van Cotter, a renowned sleep researcher at the University of Chicago, has noted, sleep is not just a passive recovery process. It's an active process that's essential for maintaining our physical and mental health. The good news is that there are many things that we can do to improve our sleep and to mitigate the negative effects of sleep deprivation on our mental performance. For example, Establishing a consistent sleep schedule, avoiding caffeine and electronics before bedtime, and creating a relaxing sleep environment can all help to improve the quality of our sleep. Additionally, engaging in regular exercise, practicing stress-reducing techniques such as meditation and yoga, and avoiding heavy meals before bedtime can all help to promote better sleep. However, despite these strategies, many of us continue to struggle with sleep deprivation, often with serious consequences for our mental performance and overall health. As we'll explore in more detail in the second half of this video, the consequences of sleep deprivation can be severe and can have a lasting impact on our lives. So, let's take a closer look at what happens when we don't get enough sleep and how this can impact our mental performance, our mood, and our overall health, and explore some strategies for improving our sleep and for mitigating the negative effects of sleep deprivation, which can have a significant impact on our daily lives and can even affect our relationships, our work performance, and our overall well-being. And it's essential to understand the importance of sleep and to make it a priority in our lives, because the consequences of sleep deprivation can be severe and can have a lasting impact on our lives. And it's crucial to take action to improve our sleep and to protect our mental and physical health. And as we'll see, there are many things that we can do to improve our sleep and to mitigate the negative effects of sleep deprivation. But first, let's take a closer look at the science behind sleep and how it affects our brains and our bodies and how sleep deprivation can impact our mental performance and our overall health. And it's essential to understand the importance of sleep and to make it a priority in our lives, because the consequences of sleep deprivation can be severe and can have a lasting impact on our lives. And it's crucial to take action to improve our sleep and to protect our mental and physical health. And as we'll see, there are many things that we can do to improve our sleep and to mitigate the negative effects of sleep deprivation. But for now, let's just say that sleep is essential for our mental and physical health, and that sleep deprivation can have severe consequences, and it's essential to take action to improve our sleep and to protect our mental and physical health. And as we'll explore in more detail in the second half of this video, the consequences of sleep deprivation can be severe and can have a lasting impact on our lives. As we dive deeper into the world of sleep deprivation, it's essential to understand the long-term effects it has on our mental performance. Research conducted by Dr. Matthew Walker, a renowned sleep expert, has shown that sleep deprivation can lead to a significant decline in cognitive function, particularly in areas such as attention, memory, and decision-making. In his study, Walker found that participants who were sleep-deprived for just one night showed a significant decrease in their ability to focus and make rational decisions. This is alarming, considering that many of us are chronically sleep-deprived, often going about our daily lives without realizing the impact it's having on our mental performance. To put this into perspective, imagine being a surgeon who's about to perform a critical operation. You've had only a few hours of sleep the night before, and you're feeling groggy and disoriented. You're trying to focus on the task at hand, but your mind keeps wandering, and you're struggling to make quick, accurate decisions. This is exactly what happens when we're sleep-deprived. Our brains become foggy, and our ability to perform even the simplest tasks is severely impaired. In fact, a study published in the journal Sleep found that sleep-deprived individuals were more likely to experience cognitive impairments, including attention deficits and memory lapses, which can have serious consequences in real-life situations. Another study, led by Dr. Charles Cheesler, found that sleep deprivation can affect our emotional regulation, leading to increased stress, anxiety, and mood disturbances. This is because sleep plays a critical role in the regulation of our emotional responses, and when we're sleep-deprived, our brains become more reactive to stressors, making us more prone to emotional outbursts. For example, have you ever found yourself overreacting to a minor setback, only to realize later that you were just tired and irritable? This is exactly what happens when our brains are sleep-deprived. We become more emotional, more reactive, and less able to cope with stress. So, what can we do to prevent sleep deprivation from destroying our mental performance? Firstly, it's essential to prioritize sleep and make it a non-negotiable part of our daily routine. This means setting a consistent sleep schedule, avoiding caffeine and electronics before bedtime, and creating a sleep-conducive environment that promotes relaxation and calmness. For instance, you can try creating a bedtime routine that involves reading a book, taking a warm bath, or practicing gentle stretches to signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. Secondly, we need to learn how to manage our time more effectively, avoiding the temptation to burn the midnight oil and push ourselves to the limit. This means setting realistic goals, prioritizing tasks, and taking regular breaks to rest and recharge. For example, you can try using the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in focused 25-minute increments, followed by a 5-minute break. This can help you stay focused, avoid burnout, and maintain your mental performance throughout the day. Thirdly, we need to be more mindful of our sleep habits and take steps to improve the quality of our sleep. This can involve avoiding heavy meals before bedtime, avoiding screens for at least an hour before sleep, and engaging in relaxing activities that promote wind down and relaxation. For instance, you can try practicing gentle yoga or meditation before bed, or listening to calming music to help you unwind. By making these small changes, we can significantly improve the quality of our sleep and wake up feeling more refreshed, more focused, and more mentally capable. Finally, it's essential to recognize the signs of sleep deprivation and take action when we notice them. This means being aware of our own limitations, listening to our bodies, and taking steps to address any sleep-related issues that may be affecting our mental performance. For example, if you find yourself feeling constantly tired, irritable, or unable to focus, it may be a sign that you're not getting enough sleep. By taking proactive steps to address these issues, we can prevent sleep deprivation from destroying our mental performance and maintain our cognitive function, even in the face of challenging circumstances. In conclusion, sleep deprivation is a serious issue that can have significant consequences for our mental performance. By prioritizing sleep, managing our time effectively, improving the quality of our sleep, and recognizing the signs of sleep deprivation, we can take proactive steps to protect our brains and maintain our cognitive function. Whether you're a student, an athlete, or a working professional, getting enough sleep is essential for achieving your goals and performing at your best. So, make sleep a priority and watch your mental performance soar. If this helped you see yourself differently, subscribe. I post new psychology insights every single day. And if you want to go even deeper, check the link in the description for Deep Work by Cal Newport. It changed how millions of people think and act.